And now, a hometown tour of Manchester.
Well, when you think back to 20 years ago, what do you remember about the city of Manchester? City Manager Tim Vick says there have been some big changes in town over the course of 2 decades.
You know, it's been pretty interesting. Here in City Hall, we do have aerial photos of the town from 2002 and 2012, and we're getting ready to print the photos from 2022. So we're taking about a 10-year snapshot of the community. And just looking at the changes in the community through the snapshot, it's really interesting because we move at a glacial pace around here, really slow, but it's really impactful what we do.
One of the biggest changes, subdivisions and new housing.
When I started the job here in 2005, Tangowood third edition was just getting started. That was finishing up. Meadow Park was working on their third edition. We had Fairview that was started a little earlier than that, and they were just starting to break ground. Now we have, Meadow Park fourth subdivision. We have Oakview subdivision, Meadowbrook subdivision. We have some more apartment complexes have been built. So just kind of looking around the town to see where the growth has been and how things are changing or shifting has been really cool.
Another big change in Manchester, the development of the RiverFront and the addition of the Whitewater Park.
What started that process? And what started that was we had flooding here in town, and we had businesses that were getting flooded out. And so what do we do with those properties? How do we redevelop those? And so when Good to Great came about in 2010, that was kind of an interesting process that Good to Great really, when they started looking at the riverfront, they were talking about a walking trail. And then things transitioned to talking about a water trail and then taking the Lowhead Dam out and putting water drop features in and changing the look of our downtown, look of our riverfront. And that really has changed how our downtown looks, how it feels for visitors as they come into town, what stores are come and gone. We look where traffic patterns are and what's going on, and we start talking about, what's going on there.
Vic says they've studied traffic patterns over the years and have built up the west side of town.
2002, we didn't have the West Howard North 13th Street edition, which is where the Delaware County Jail is located now. Norby's was on the east end of town. Well, now they're on the west end of town in a nice big facility. Walmart has doubled in size from what they were at that time. We have a new Dollar Fresh. We have some really neat businesses that have come in and dotted our skyline, as I like to say.
And there are way more bikeways and walkways in Manchester than there were 20 years ago.
I know they're not always popular for some people, especially if they're in their yard or next to their property. And, I understand that. But I also know the positive impact they have on the community as people are out walking and interacting with each other, getting back to those socializations where, we don't sit on the front porch as much anymore. We're not talking to our neighbors as much. But this is a way for people to get out and enjoy the outdoors and talk to each other.
There's been some development on the west end of Manchester along Highway 20 and Highway 13 with A.J. Spiegel subdivision, with a new hotel and Casey's truck stop, and now a new residential neighborhood in the works on the East Highway 20 exit off Bailey Drive. Vic says they're trying to grow their presence along Highway 20.
Highway 20 is our future growth area. We want people to understand that, hey, Manchester's here. We got a lot going for us. Stop in and see what we have going on, and maybe you want to live here too. And so now with the new subdivision going out there off of Highway 20 and Bailey Drive, new residential subdivision, that's going to be very visible. And that's one of the things we've been missing as people drive by on Highway 20. They don't see much of the city. They see some industry, but they really don't see the houses. They don't see the walking trails. They don't see the recreational opportunities, the shopping opportunities in the downtown. So that's one of the things we're missing by not having a strong presence on Highway 20. And that's something I think we're going to be looking at here in the near future.
And what does Vic think Manchester may look like in another 20 years?
In the next 20 years, I really do see us shifting some more growth down to Highway 20. But I also see some residential shifts in the north part of town too. It's hard to get away from those big areas, but at the same token, you have established neighborhoods where people love to live. It's interesting talking to people and seeing what they like about their neighborhoods, whether it's close proximity to the schools, shopping. For people that want to live close to Highway 20, it's the ability for them to get onto Highway 20 to get to the jobs if they're commuting. And that's one of the other things we're seeing shift a little bit too with the advent of COVID, we're seeing more people working from home. Okay, so if you have a high quality internet, you can work from home. But that's also if we have that here, we can attract people that want to live here. They don't want to live in a big city. They want to live in a small town lifestyle, but they can commute to work or remote into work. And, we've talked about this in economic development for the past 10 years. It's a shift now. People aren't moving to where the jobs are. They're moving to where they want to live, and they'll find a job there. So making your town attractive to be a place where people want to live, and then they'll find the work in the area, that's what we're trying to shift our focus on now. Instead of chasing smokestacks all the time, we're chasing people.
With your hometown tour of Manchester on KMCH, I'm Janelle Tucker.